Port employees strike called off following discussions with the Prime Minister. Election campaign activities end from midnight today. Sajith Premadasa says that he will form a philanthropic government. Basil speaks about the future opposition. Department of Agriculture provides fruitless seeds to farmers. Final of the World Schools Debating Championship 2020 underway between Sri Lanka and Canada. Winner to be announced shortly.
Good evening and welcome to your Newsfirst weekend from right here at the heart of Colombo at the Newsfirst Centre. I am Deshan Gonawala for the Newsfirst. Now today is a special day. It marks the end of the campaign period for the general election 2020, which is to be held next Wednesday. Before we go into these political stories, let's start with our main story for today. And here's how it goes. Now, port workers today called off their strike and Satyagraha campaign that was launched earlier this week. The leader of the Independent Port Employees Union, Prasanna Kalutarage, said that this decision was made following a discussion with the Prime Minister.
Port employees had begun a strike in a Satyagraha campaign urging that the Colombo Port's East Container Terminal be brought under the Sri Lanka Ports Authority instead of being sold to India. They demanded the government to provide a written assurance about the ECT before the parliamentary election. While civic groups and politicians expressed support to the trade union action, Buddhist monks, representatives of civic groups and trade unions arrived at the premises of the Colombo Port today. A discussion was held between port trade unions and Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa at the Carlton House in Tangol. 14 trade unions participated in the discussion. Following talks with the Prime Minister, trade unions said that they could announce their decision after discussing the matter with other trade union leaders. Accordingly, trade union leaders who arrived at the Colombo Port around 1 p.m. today announced that they would suspend their trade union action.
We discussed a recent cabinet paper that paved the way for this trade union action. We told the Prime Minister that we engaged in the trade union action due to the cabinet paper signed by Minister Johnston Fernando. The Prime Minister then raised an accusation stating that some among the 23 of us are being used as pawns by a political entity. Our brother Welgama, who is from the trade union of the government, said that it is this cabinet paper that led to this struggle. We believe that as it was published with the signature of Minister Johnston Fernando, this was put forward on the 9th of June 2020. The Prime Minister said that a cabinet paper was not put forward to this effect and that such a proposal had not been submitted before subcommittee meetings. He said that such proposals won't be approved even if it is put forward. For those who made this, we wish to say that we are stronger than them. Don't even imagine that this can be put forward again in the country. The chairman of the authority has issued the relevant instructions to set up the machinery and equipment required for the East Container Terminal from noon today. Some candidates might have intended to promote their political ideology. We wish to observe a minute of silence for them. We reject their dirty politics.
The media questioned as to whether the Prime Minister had provided them with a written assurance as per their demands.
ලිඛිතව අපිට අවශ්‍ය වෙන්නේ වැඩේ. ඒ වැඩේ කරන්න ලිඛිතව දෙනවට වඩා හොඳයි වැඩේ දෙන එක. ඊළඟ ගෙලියුම ලැබුණ වැඩේ අපිට ඕන ඉච්චරයි. දැන් ඔබතුමා ලිඛිතව ලැබුණාද? වැඩේ ලැබුණාම ලිඛිතව මොනවද? ඕක නැවතුව අපි දන්නව කරන්න මොකද කියලා. ඔබතුමාලාට පණිවිඩයක් අරන් ආවා මේ විමල් විරාස මන්ත්‍රීතුමා මේ උදේකම් මන්ත්‍රීලා මන්ත්‍රීතුමා. හැබැයි ඔබතුමාලා එදා උන්ට එකගතාවයේ දැක්වුවා අද මේ වගේ දෙයක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඔව් වෙන්නේ. අපි
Yes, it wouldn't have happened. We have nothing to hide from PB Jayasundara. We have a problem regarding his decisions, especially those concerning the port. We felt that the President is being deceived by PB Jayasundara. Therefore, we plan to meet the President and hand these details to him. That's why we asked for a meeting. Jayasundara is the President's secretary. Instead of discussing it with him, we wanted to meet the President directly and seek a solution. But the Prime Minister provided a favourable solution before that.
ජනාධිපතිතුමාලා අඩිය පස්සට තිබ්බේ. ජනාධිපතිතුමාගේ මම වෘෂමෙතර බය නැහැ. ඉතින් ජනාධිපතිවරේ වෘෂමෙතර බය වෙන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. කඩාකප්පල්කාරී ක්‍රියාවලියක් යනවායි කියලා මෙතන දැන්. ඔව් ඒක එහෙම වුණානේ මොකද?
The government felt that this is a move to sabotage operations. Candidates came and campaigned for votes here. Some booed at Vimal Weerawansa and Udaya Gammanpila. These problems occur during trade union struggles.
ඒව ප්‍රශ්න මේ වගේ දේවල් වෘත්තිආර කළවල වෙනවා.
A strike was launched so close to the election. This is the first time in history something of that nature has happened. Those who have been politically bankrupt are trying too hard to somehow get highlighted. Anyone who cares for the port will not halt its operations and launch strikes. It is a political game behind it. What is the allegation? They charge that Johnston Fernando is trying to sell the port. Can I just sell a port? Am I the president of this country? Am I the prime minister of this country? When Champika Ranawaka was there was no issue. He was given a warm welcome. But when ministers representing the government went there, they were hooted at. A trade union supporting our party will never engage in such acts. Some were with the government and still opposed it. We saw how certain people switched sides after Mahinda Rajapaksa became the prime minister.
Meanwhile, views were expressed about the East Container Terminal in several places today.
Colombo Port is placed 24th in the world rankings. The total revenue earned in 2019 is 40.8 billion rupees. The profit earned in 2019 was 16 billion rupees. It is against this backdrop a proposal was made to sell this. In simple terms, this is a traitorous act. Who is trying to destroy the economy of this country? It has to be someone who can destroy an economy of a country. Do not try to deny that this will be sold to India. We have the cabinet paper presented by Mr. Johnston on the 6th of June to sell this. Didn't anyone see this cabinet paper? Even today, during a meeting with the president, it was mentioned that there is no definite answer to this matter. We urge them to clearly state that this will not be sold to India. They haven't even given a clear answer about the MCC. One might think that it is okay to hand this over because the Ports Authority will have a 51% stake in it. But that is not going to be the case. They are now attempting to hand this over to two companies. We'd like to ask what these companies are. Do those companies belong to either Basil Rajapaksa or Mahinda Rajapaksa? They will give one portion to India and divide the remaining part among the Rajapaksas. This government reeks of patriotism. But really, what they do is selling national resources of this country.
Just as you decided to halt the fight against selling off the East Container Terminal after a word was provided, we will engage in an indefinite struggle if they attempt to sell this off after the parliament election by implementing the agreement with India and Japan. If this is not going to be sold to India, then why isn't a written assurance being provided? Don't their pens, typewriters or printers have ink? This is a farce. We will continue to fight until they stop any moves to sell the East Container Terminal.
Now, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has said that the Hambantota district would be incorporated into the proposed 4 major commercial cities that would make up the International Coordination Centre. The President made these remarks on the sidelines on attending several rallies in support of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa first attended a public rally that was organised by Chamal Rajapaksa near the Tissa Maharama bus stand. According to the President's media division, the President had said he would transform Hambantota into 4th commercial city apart from Colombo, Jaffna and Trincomalee. The President had said that the government will build a country that can compete in international markets by establishing a C-shaped economic corridor connecting 2 main ports and airports while integrating all business zones. The public voiced their grievances to the President, who attended a public gathering organised by candidate Harsha Udayakumara at the Lunugamvehera bus stop premises. The attention of the President was drawn to the shortages in Hambantota Mahanagapura Mahavidyalaya and Lunugamvehera Mahavidyalaya. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa and Minister Chamal Rajapaksa were also present. During the occasion, children had donated some of their savings to the COVID-19 fund. The President also participated at public meetings organised by candidate Upul Sanjeeva Galapatti, Ajit Rajapaksa and Minister Mahinda Amravira.
Now, propaganda activities for the parliamentary election will end by midnight today. The National Elections Commission said that all forms of propaganda activities, including political rallies, distributing leaflets and posters, and displaying banners, would be banned during this period. Now, several mainstream political parties convene media briefings today.
Leader of the National People's Power, Anurakumara Dissanayake, attended a media briefing at the party headquarters today.
මා කිසිදු මැතිවරණ ව්‍යාපාරික අවස්ථාව දැක්කේ නැහැ. ජනාධිපතිවරයා
I did not see the president addressing the supporters of his party and clearly stating the reason why the people should vote for them. When I observed their election campaign, I remembered that when we were small in 1978, there was a stalwart by the name of Herat Banda from the United National Party in our village. They took him to election stages. He only attends the meeting and doesn't speak. This is an election campaign in which one was used as an object on display. He says the struggle against selling the East Container Terminal is a conspiracy and an act of sabotage, while adding that he is not afraid and warning them not to play around. We wish to tell Gotabaya Rajapaksa not to play around with national resources of our country. All the past rulers of our country gambled with our national resources. They acted as brokers to sell off the country's national assets. If he is saying not to play around and that he is not afraid, I wish to tell Gotabaya Rajapaksa that he can't threaten and suppress anyone who is striving to protect the country's resources. The Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna held a media briefing in Colombo today with the participation of party's national organizer Basil Rajapaksa. We are requesting your support to take the relevant action after the 5th of August. According to the Constitution, national security has been vested with the executive president. However, that has been impeded through various methods. Using the mandate given by the people, we will make some amendments to the Constitution and fill this gap in the future.
ඔබතුමා මේ වෙන හැම ද්වාරයකම මේ පූර්ව ඡන්ද ප්‍රතිඵලයක් ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා. ඒක ඊටමත් ආසන්න ලෙස නිවැරදිව ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. අද ඒක මගහැර ගියා. පැහැදිලිව දන්නවා මේ
We know that the oldest political party in the country will not end up second or third. It would be great if they do not become the fourth. That means that the United National Party will experience a massive downfall. At the same time, the party coming in second won't be able to obtain at least half of our votes. However, the Tamil National Alliance will win about 3 districts. There is a competition between us in the 2 districts in the eastern province. I feel that we can win in those districts.
අපි දෙගොල්ල අතර තරංගයක් තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒක අපි හිතනවා මේ පාර ජයග්‍රහණය කරන්න පුළුවන් කියලා.
7 වෙනිදා ඔබගේ ඊළඟ පුරවැසිකම හිමි රටට යනවද? එහෙම නැතිනම් මේ හදන ආණ්ඩුවේ මොකද්ද ගන්න තනතුර මේ ජනතාවත් සමග වැඩ කරන්න ඔබ මොනවද කරන ඔබගේ පාර්ශවයේ?
මට යන්න තහනම් කරලා තියෙන්නේ.
The former government had taken steps to bar me from travelling. I feel that I would be given the freedom to travel again. We will win more than 130 seats in Parliament. We will win between 130 and 135 seats. We also believe that people will help us win 150 seats. That is our estimate. However, we need 150 seats to work properly. We will receive 4 or 5 seats from other parties that are supporting us. We know that we can register a victory, especially in the east. They will support us. However, we would prefer if our camp receives 150 seats directly. I would also like if the Janata Vimukti Peramuna wins some seats. This statement might become slightly controversial. However, it's good if that happens. Otherwise, if you look at our opposition, some of them are cracking jokes. Therefore, we are waiting to see whether we need an opposition that is hypocritical or childish or one that cracks jokes.
දැන් ඉන්න විපක්ෂයේ කතා බැලුවම කට්ටියක් විහිළු සපයනවා. උහක විපක්ෂයක් එනවද? බොළඳ විපක්ෂයක් එනවද? නැත්නම් විහිළු විපක්ෂයක් එනවද කියන එකයි අපි බලාගෙන ඉන්නේ.
Our request is from the people, give us 2/3 majority to especially to change the constitution without any pressure from outside, to have a constitution which will suit to our country. So we are requesting 2/3. So I don't know how far we can get it, but I am confident that the people will listen to us.
Gaining the support of the minority parties, or are you even looking at forming a national government?
We don't consider any party as a minority party. We think they are all political parties. One. Second thing, we don't think, why do we think negatively? We should have 2/3. If the people want a good, solid constitution for this country, they should vote for, give us 2/3.
Meanwhile, the views on the state of the economy of the country were expressed at a Samagi Jana Balawegaya press conference today. According to the World Bank forecast, our economic growth will slow at to a negative 3.2%. Additionally, according to the Asian Development Bank, our economic growth will slow down by negative 6%. COVID is not the only reason for this. It's because the Rajapakshas invested the commercial loans taken from 2005 to 2015 in places where income is not generated, and because Gotabaya Rajapaksa directed the country into a state of financial crisis since the beginning of his December 2019 tenure. We say with guarantee, in the near future, the government has already prepared the deeds to sell off valuable government lands in the airport, port and power sector, as well as the expressway system and Colombo and surrounding areas.
Today we only have $6 billion in our reserves. There is only $4.5 million out of that. However, we have to pay $3.5 billion as loans for the rest of the year. The central bank releases a report once a week, and according to a report released on the 31st of July, 7 days before that, 20 billion rupees has been printed. During the first 4 months of the President Gotabaya Rajapaksa's regime, the loan that consists of 914 million rupees has been increased by 1,000 billion rupees. But a single cent hasn't been spent to build a bridge or a building.
A rally had been organized by the Samagi Jana Balawegaya candidate Niroshan Paduka in Moratuwa yesterday. Party leader Sajith Premadasa presided over the event.
We know the heartbeat of carpenters. We know the struggles of the fishermen. We feel the problems of an ordinary worker. We have understood the aspiration of the middle class people. When we establish a government under the symbol of the telephone at the upcoming general election, I wish to state that we will appoint a Prime Minister of the common man and create a Samagi Jana Balawegaya government that understands the problems of the people.
The Samagi Jana Balawegaya had organized the rally in Mattakulliya this afternoon. Party leader Sajith Premadasa received a resounding welcome during the occasion.
I will address the problems about the deeds of all those living here. I will tell you 3 main things. This government promised it would not levy electricity charges for March and April. Under our government, we will reimburse the money that you paid for your electricity bills during these months. We will reduce the prices of fuel within 24 hours after establishing our government. Until the position of the economy improves, we will provide a monthly allowance of 20,000 rupees for poor families. As the son of Ranasinghe Premadasa, I wish to say that the problems relating to deeds would be solved definitely. We will resolve it. The United National Party held a political rally at the Polhena area in Piliyandala under the patronage of its leader Ranil Wickramasinghe.
According to the statistics that we have received, at least 1 million people would lose their jobs. What has the government done to face this situation? This is an issue in all countries. The other countries have taken measures. However, the SLPP government has failed to take action. After the country pays off its debt for this year, we won't be able to import goods for at least 3 months. What are we to do if we lose 1 million jobs? I propose that 10,000 rupees must be given monthly as assistance from the government to protect businesses and self-employed people such as 3-wheel drivers. If $6,000 billion are not received, the rupee will depreciate to 195 rupees against the US dollar during the next 2 months. That will depreciate further to 200 rupees. Therefore, this is the period that we have. The vote that you cast within the next few days will determine to which extent you would be able to save your money. That is because the SLPP is asking for a 2/3 majority to remove the independent commissions established under the 19th Amendment. What is the problem in the country? Is it independent commissions or the economy? Are independent commissions your domestic economy? Think well about the problems at hand.
ස්වාධීන කමිෂන්ද ඔබේ ගෙදර ආර්ථිකයේද ඉස්සෙල්ලා තීරණය කරන ප්‍රශ්නේ මොකක්ද කියලා.
A public meeting attended by former President Maithripala Sirisena was held in Manampitiya, Polonnaruwa yesterday. The people of this country have understood that they shouldn't give power to the United National Party that is divided. They know that only the current government can rule this country. If the President and the Prime Minister represent two factions, the country will have to face a crisis. A strong government is required to uplift the country and strengthen the economy. Only a strong government can attract foreign investments and aid. A weak government cannot gain international attention. I know it through my experience. The entire world is facing an economic crisis today. We have to come together to help this country move forward. A public meeting of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna was held in Polonnaruwa area in Tangol yesterday. The meeting was chaired by Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. It is for the first time the opposition was divided into two. The parties in the opposition usually join hands, but opposition is divided here and we see how they are working against each other. During the presidential election, 6.9 million people approved the president's vision and policies. All that we have to do now is to implement the set of policies that have been agreed upon. The president cannot do that alone. If the power in the parliament is given to the opposition, the president will not be able to implement what he has promised. Because at the end of the day, it is the parliament that has to implement these plans.
Meanwhile, a councillor was assaulted during a public meeting attended by leaders of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna today. Hambantota SLPP Municipal Councillor Ajit Prasanna was assaulted during the tense situation today. He alleged that a group who supported the Hambantota mayor had carried out the assault.
450 from my electorate attended the public meeting. We were given t-shirts of TM Iraj there, but we refused to wear the t-shirts. After the meeting we were attacked. We had threats even after 2015. Those who left the party has joined again and are threatening us. He is not from our party.
The councillor was admitted to hospital after complaining to the police. A supporter was also threatened by the group at the hospital.
I have been with the Rajapakshas since 65. We have been in politics since then. Can they just threaten us like this? Who are they? How can they threaten us like this?
I have been the mayor of Hambantota since 2011 and never have I ever had such problems. I don't even treat officials badly. When I saw some people there act in an aggressive manner, I tried to calm things down. There were a few people under the influence of alcohol there, and when they got aggressive, I didn't even push them. I said, if there is a problem, let's talk it out. If not, we have no business here. There was nothing else there. He walked to the police and filed a complaint also. This harmed the whole campaign. Today the president was at 12 or 13 meetings. This individual even lost his seat and was reappointed via the list. Trincomalee district candidate Susantha Punchinilame faced an unfortunate situation when addressing a meeting in Kantale. Please ask the early childhood politicians of our district to act keeping in mind the route I followed to get here. We found a bomb in front of the house I stayed at. It had been left at a location in front of my house. I would like to say one thing. I came here in 2006. I would like to remind you that there are early childhood politicians in our district who killed innocent people and senior officers of the military using ice manjula. I, as an officer who faced LTTE human bombs, who was in the front line of the battle to save Toppigala, who has experience in the military, don't find these challenging. So I want to say to the early childhood politicians not to behave like toddlers. Our correspondent reported that eggs had been thrown into the location of the rally during the address of Susantha Punchinilame. This was how the situation changed at the time.
Afterwards, police officers were deployed in the area where the egg attacks happened. In this area, house is repeatedly calling the police on 119. If someone has an issue, come to me on the 6th. I will treat those issues. Some party members are duplicate slippers. We are the original members. This was built by us when we were attacked, shot and when our vehicles were damaged. Members of the SLPP did not arrive from space. We were the ones who built it. Therefore, I am telling you some things today. The rightful owners of this party are you. Letters are sent by post. What do these letters contain? They say that there are people from Wellassa for generations of Veerakapatipula and Bootavi Raterala. Where are the Veerakapatipulas? They are in Badulla. Some lies can be detected through their letters. You can see them in the letters sent by the post. The people who don't know about these things are speaking about the heritage of Wellassa. It is we who hold ownership in Wellassa. We were born in this land. We are living in this place. We wish to remind you that it is we who inherit this land until our death. No one else can claim ownership over this.
Be it during victory or defeat, we are people who always stood on the same side. Some people, to cover up their court cases, went and supported the Yahapalna government and today have come back to say that they are also from the Bohot tour. Some of these people don't even know where the headquarters of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna is situated and today claim that we are playing on a pitch that they prepared. I would like to very clearly tell them that this is not that old pitch. This is ours. We have the right to do as we please on it. It is only because Mahinda Rajapaksa allowed them to join us temporarily that they can claim any sort of ownership. It is when they had no place to go and were lost that they got this chance.
We'll be right back after this short commercial break. Welcome back to the news. Now, these were the views expressed by President's Counsel Ali Sabri at a media briefing convened by the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna.
How important is it to get a two-third majority as opposed to just a majority to move forward with development plans that are being hindered currently by 90%? This two-third is required only to change the constitutional provision. So if the 19th Amendment has been brought in, if you want to get away from the 19th Amendment, then you need two-third. We are looking at introducing a new constitution itself. But that doesn't mean that we are trying to depart from all the good qualities of the present constitution. Because so that once and for all this debate on constitution for 70 years should come to stand to an end. Because we have been, every 10 years, we have been debating about the constitution.
2020. Original port. As people betrayed Mahinda Rajapaksa in 2015, duplicate people will betray Gotabaya Rajapaksa in 2025 as well.
That is called indecency. I can proudly say that we were able to leave the government, obtain the position of the opposition leader and secure the parliamentary seats from the letter I wrote. The very MPs I protected are alleging me of various things today.
Do not vote for anyone who left Mahinda Rajapaksa because they will definitely leave Gotabaya Rajapaksa as well. They left for power and money. Elect a group of people with a clean backstory. Otherwise, we will have to face bigger issues in the future. Some people are trying to kick out the SLFP and ensure their victory. It is because we will unite that we will be able to obtain the two-thirds majority. Some people think they can walk without the help of someone. They will have to crawl at the end of the day.
If it wasn't for the votes garnered by the SLFP, the victory of Gotabaya Rajapaksa at the presidential election would have been changed. The president would never ask people not to vote for anyone. His policies are law-abiding. However, his henchmen are engaging in
How is Mahinda Rajapaksa holding on to the treasure? Sashindra Rajapaksa contested from Monaragala. He will become a minister. Namal will be a minister as well. Mahinda Rajapaksa's sister's son contests from Matara and he will also be given something. Why do we exist? So we can vote them in. This is a marvelous country.
At a time where I was not even given nomination, I have received this opportunity because of my connections. With that chance, I hope to do something for the Denia electorate in the Matara district.
ලැබිච්ච අවස්ථාවෙන් මේ මාතර දිස්ත්‍රික්කයේ දෙනියාය ආසනයේට මේ ලංකාවට අලුත් දෙයක් කරන්න අවස්ථාවක් ලබා ගැනීම තමයි මගේ බලාපොරොත්තුව. මාතර මිනිසුන්ගෙන්
I honorably ask from the people in Matara and Deniaya, let's teach this country a lesson. Let us prove to this country that our politics cater to the obligations given to us by the people instead of catering to power, money and nepotism on the 5th.
We failed you in 2015. Ranil failed all of us. But today there are no deal makers to betray anyone. Our door is open to anyone. This is not Mahinda Rajapaksa's salon door. We ask them to put an end to nepotism.
They
want to become cabinet ministers, but they can't because we are way ahead of them. Then they resorted to a different party. Therefore, you have to make your decisions wisely. No one can criticize and let us down. You have to ask from these people as to what they have done for us.
Although you send 1,000 letters to overthrow us, remember, after the 5th, all of that will come through the mandate of the people. Do not forget that we will not engage in politics standing on sand if we are scared of the waves. It is not easy to scare the people in Valigama.
All the people who try to destroy this party have left the party as of today. You, the people, can have questions about leaders of this party. You can have questions about the past conduct of this party. But the leaders of this party are only temporary.
I saw Ranil Wickremesinghe has posted on Facebook saying, let us think anew. That is 45 years too late. What is this greed for power? Please be strong to eradicate this cancer on the 5th. You can elect a talented team. Sajith Premadasa is only 53 years old.
The UNP is not anyone's property. It is owned by the people, not by anyone else. But the people who celebrated the death of Ranasinghe Premadasa have now joined Sajith Premadasa to beg for votes in Mahiyanganaya.
It is clear that the UNP faction will lay the red carpet for the government and assist them. But there is a conspiracy in place to lure the people of Samaki Jana Balawege to do the same. I have a request for you. Elect people who will not be bought by others. Do not elect anyone who has crossed over and betrayed the country.
2020
පාර්ලිමේන්තුවට දූෂකයන් වංචනිකයන් පගාකරුවන් මිනිමරුවන් ස්ත්‍රී දූෂකයන් ළමා අපචාරකරුවන් කැසිනෝ කරුවන් කුඩුකාරයන් ජාවාරම්කාරයන් යවන්න එපා.
We want a clean parliament. We want a clean government. Think before you vote.
Hello and welcome back to your news. Now, former superintendent of the Negombo prison, Anuruddha Sampaio, who was served an arrest warrant, surrendered before the police today.
Police spokesman SSP Jalya Senoratne said that the suspect who surrendered in Kurnagala is being brought to the Negombo police station. He added that the suspect is due to be produced before the Criminal Investigation Department. On the 22nd of last month, the Negombo Magistrates Court had issued a warrant for the arrest of 4 people, including former SP Anuruddha Sampaio. The warrant had been over charges of committing irregularities at the Negombo prison. Anuruddha Sampaio is facing charges of forging documents and allowing the smuggling in of banned items, including a fridge, to a prisoner. 3 jailers who surrendered before court previously have been remanded until the 4th of this month upon orders issued by Negombo Acting Magistrate Indika Silva. The suspects have been identified as Chief Jailer Upali Sarath Bandara, Class 2 Jailer Nishanta Sena Ratna and a jailer named Prasad Kalinga Kaluagala.
I'm surrendering myself for the IGP, although the Attorney General's Department has criticised me. Ravi Karunanayake and Rajitha Senaratne were in hiding. I'm surrendering myself for the President. This is a dirty act carried out against me. They are tarnishing the image of Minister Johnston Fernando. That's why I am surrendering myself. I didn't surrender myself as I was waiting for the appeal court verdict. If they can hide, why can't we? The previous government put us in trouble. The current government is causing us trouble. We wish to tell the President that we voted for him. Dear Prime Minister, we are good officials. Please save us.
Now, the national debate team of Sri Lanka came in second at the World Schools Debating Championships 2020 a short while ago. Now, the WSDC is the premier international debating tournament in the world. This is the first time that Sri Lanka proceeded beyond the initial knockout stage of any previous editions of the tournament. Sri Lanka was also recognized as the best team from the English as a second language category. Shalim Sumandiran was the 7th best speaker in the same category.
68 countries are reported to have participated in the championship this year. The tournament, which was supposed to be held in Mexico, is being held online due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The 6-member Sri Lankan team consists Janul De Silva and Shalim Sumandiran from Royal College Colombo, Rahul De Silva and Jasmine Markandu from Colombo International School, Chanidu Ratnayaka from Ananda College Colombo and Reha Wimalasekara from Ladies College Colombo. Sanjit Dias and Kitmina Hewage are the coaches of the national debate team of Sri Lanka. Team Sri Lanka qualified for the final after defeating Team Ireland 7-0 in the semi-final.
That's it for your international stories. Now, an exclusive documentary on a species with an ever-dwindling population, the Sri Lankan leopard, premieres tomorrow at 9:45 on Election First and on the News First YouTube page. And with that, we wrap up our news. Thank you for joining us. I've been Deshan Gonavala for the News First team. We'll see you again soon.
Lakshapana Estate is where this incident happened, where this rare black leopard got caught in a snare and it died. So why we are going to Lakshapana is to understand, first of all, how it happened, and most importantly, why it happened.
Snares are now a threat for leopards that we will really need to seriously consider.
It's obviously it's a nasty death. It can be a very nasty death because it can take a long time.
So we have a limited stock and we can't attend everywhere.